Welcome, Raider Nation. You're finding me right now at the Sitar Indian Cuisine restaurant in the heart of Santa Cruz, 1133 Pacific Avenue in Santa Cruz. Come on down to Sitar and check out the wonderful food, Raider Nation. There's plenty to go on here, and you know I know good food.
And I get a chance to talk to Stephanie Rebecca Black a little bit about the Oakland Raiders. Just a few questions for her. Of course, we are being brought to you by Sitar Indian Cuisine, a wonderful location. Of course, try some of the fine dining. We're enjoying it right here. Of course, Patty is always glad to provide some of the food here. Patty, just real quickly for the viewers, just want to talk to you about the dishes that the customers really love.
Oh, thank you.
All right, there she's a moving target right there. There you go.
Yes, definitely. And Patty obviously is very busy when we come in, and she's trying to make sure that we have everything we need here at the table. The service is outstanding at Sitar Indian Cuisine. That is a plus. You get great service and great food. So it's going to make you feel better, Raider Nation, especially if your stomach's upset about anything having to do with our team. This is the place to help calm you down. Sitar.
Stephanie, during this off-season, some of the acquisitions that the Raiders have made so far, who are you impressed with that they've grabbed and who really help out the team?
For me right now with the Oakland Raider team, it's difficult for me to really get into the success of what the team can do during the season in terms of wins without that offensive line really being solidified. Jake Grove was a center that the Raiders lost at the beginning of this offseason. He's in Miami now. Obviously, the Raiders need to make a play at a veteran center, get him in there, make sure that he's able to be that Barrett Robbins type guy who can check off, who can read defenses for Jamarcus Russell, who needs as much support as he can get coming in the second year. Remember, he didn't really play a full year. He's behind schedule, and he has to get on schedule, on the plan. And what better way to help him do that by getting some wide receivers that can catch the ball, as well as a center that can help solidify that offensive line. They need some guards and some tackles too, so a lot of work on the offensive line. It's difficult to really be excited when you're wondering how they're going to win those games without that presence on the field.
I'm going to ask you about Nandy Asamoah, and of course Nandy is a big piece of the puzzle. Of course, during the induction of the Hall of Fame induction at the Pro Bowl, Rod Woodson said that he's the biggest piece that the Raiders had. They almost virtually had to sign him. He's one of the hardest working persons in his position, and the Raiders did get it done at a price that Asamoah was very satisfied.
Absolutely, and that's going to work well for the Raiders to have Asamoah stick around. Remember, he's taking on that Tim Brown kind of role in the locker room, where he's making sure guys are accountable, and he's willing to push men in the locker room, make sure that they're able to stand up and that they're fulfilling their assignments when they're out on the field. So I think it's a good move for the Oakland Raiders to keep Nandy Asamoah around and make him a Raider for life. And that's what needs to happen with in professional football if you want to have the success. So I was looking for that bookend on the other end for Nandy Asamoah. I was sad to see also the safety coach, Wilson, was a key on the defensive side of the ball, stopping and hitting. He was a great safety, so the Raiders have got to fulfill that position, make sure they get somebody in there to help support Asamoah. Remember, he was in college. He was a safety, and he went back and forth between safety and cornerback. Can he do that again? Everybody talks about Asamoah and his success, but if you look at Charles Woodson was able to come in and pretty much do it all. He can work both sides of the ball. He can be a receiver. He can play tight end if he needs to. He can return punts if he needs to, or kicks. But Asamoah hasn't done all of those roles yet. He's very focused on that left side. I'd like to see him go back and forth between the left and the right side, really throw teams off. The offense is trying to plan for him. So there's a lot that the Raiders need to do with the defensive side of the ball as well. Not just the offensive line needs help, but that defensive line got to plug some of those holes that are left by Warren Sapp, for instance, and some other defensive linemen.
We're at Sitar Indian Cuisine at 1133 Pacific Avenue, downtown Santa Cruz. Of course, I just wanted to ask Stephanie one more question, and then we'll go ahead and take a break, and then we'll get to eat, and then we'll get to Ralph Gora, as he's going to be talking a little bit about his business plan. That's on the next program, and we'll have him for that. But real quickly, just to end things out, Jamarcus Russell gets, of course, is going to get the call in the quarterback position next season, and I know that he's looking forward to working with Osmore and work the Raiders probably kind of get into our lineup to during the offseason.
Yeah, Jamarcus Russell, he needs to have some targets. I was really disappointed with the Raiders scouting team not going after Terrell Owens. I think he would have been a good plus. Regardless of what you think about T.O., this is somebody that can produce for the team. He's somebody that obviously wants to win. I think that's the problem in Dallas. Dallas was concerned about T.O.'s attitude in the locker room. His attitude was bad, folks, because he wasn't winning. That's the kind of attitude that we need on the Oakland Raiders. We need that fighter spirit. And that's what used to be. If you look at the legend of the Oakland Raiders and the ghost to the post and all the great athletes that came through and established the legacy for the Oakland Raiders, that's a lot to live up to. So that should really keep Jamarcus occupied. Jamarcus needs to learn how to run with that ball again and really be aggressive when he's out there on the field. That's something that he was lacking last year, that confidence. And I think Lane Kiffin had a lot to do with his confidence kind of being out of whack and his belief in himself. And those young receivers, Chad Schillens, I thought did a great job last year. Needs to get better grasp of that ball and keep moving forward. The Raiders need to pick up another tight end to support Zach Miller. So there's some holes that need to be plugged in order for them to have the success that they're looking for. And the new coach, head coach now, Tom Cable, wants to go back to an aggressive style of offense and defense. That should make Raider Nation excited everywhere. Going back to traditional Raider football is going to help this team succeed. That's what we want. We want to see them win games. That hasn't been. It's painful the last few years being the last and continuously losing. That's not the Raider way. So we're going back to the Raider way. Hopefully you'll see a lot of that this season in 2009.
Well, that's going to take a look at our edition for the offseason, look at the Raiders on the Raider Nation. Of course, you can catch us on YouTube. A little bit later on, you may want to look up Ralph Gora, G-O-R-A. He's coming up with his business program. You want to dial him up. So thanks for Stephanie Rebecca Black here saying thank you for joining us.
And thank you. I'm going to have some Sitar Indian cuisine right now. And Raider Nation, stay tuned. You can also check me out on RaiderFanRadio.com and SportsRadioService.com.
Sitar.